Hey, everybody. Sharon from Accidental Art Maker. It's been a while since I've done a live, so bear with me as I get my live legs up and running. I'm here tonight to show you stamps in watercolor. Super easy. I've actually started prepping a couple of hours ago and ended up doing lots of watercolors already. They're so much fun and they're just so beautiful. I want to show you one more thing before we get started in watercolor. We're using tonight Rose Toil, which is one of my favorite rose stamps. And I started off by stamping watercolor paper, which is what I will be showing you. And I was like, I just got this shirt from Goodwill the other day, $5, and I was thinking it would be really cool with a stamp on it. So there's some Rose Toil for you there on the back of a shirt. I'm still going to be working on it. I just wanted to show it off a little bit. Kind of looks like a garden growing down here. You can see it all right. Back. Anyways, it's a work in progress, just like me. Okay. And my cat is going to start making noises. There's my double chin. Okay, let's get this camera set up here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get rolling with watercolors and not to be scared or nervous or anything about doing them. I'm not an expert, but I love doing it. And every time I do it, I learn a little bit something new. I'll probably be learning something with you tonight. So here's a piece that I started. I'm trying to create a birthday card for my sister who is turning 50. I won't tell you if she's my big sister or my little sister. I'll let you guys guess that one out. Okay, so here we are with just something I've been working on. I've got a pre-stamp here that I may be watercoloring later to show you the difference between watercoloring on black ink and another color ink. And I will be using, as I mentioned, Rose Toil. And then I've got another stamp letterpress for words. So let's get on. So you know there's that song, 50 Ways to Leave a Lover. Well, there's 50 ways to watercolor. I have a couple of different grades of watercolor paper here. This Italian watercolor paper I bought because I loved the cover. But when I watercolored on it, it held up a little bit. I probably will be able to press that later. And then I've got like a little card here too if I wanted to do that. But what I wanted to do tonight was show you guys the watercolor on some a little bit high-end watercolor paper. It's just thicker and it absorbs the water really well. Okay, so we've got our watercolor paper and we have our stamp. To keep things simple tonight, I'm not going to take the stamp off of its backing. I'm just going to use it exactly as it is right here, and I'll probably sprinkle in some words someplace. I've got, as you can see, my watercolor, and then I've got my little tray of IOD ink that we will be using to do a stamp. I am going to use, this is black, but I want to use the green because I think the green looks really pretty, especially when you put watercolor on it. So I've got a few paint brushes here. I've got this watercolor set. The stamps and the watercolors you can find on my website. The brushes I got from Michael's. I'm going to step away for 1 second to let my cat out before she demands to be let out. Come on, kitty. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I've got this green ink right here. It's also what I used on the shirt. If you're just tuning in, I started off by showing a shirt. I'm actually going to rearrange the stamp because it's overlapping a little bit. So here's Rose 12 stamp. I'm usually take the stamps off and use a thin mount to ink up different patterns, but just to keep things super simple, especially for those of you who are new to IOD, I'm just leaving it exactly as it came out of the package on the backing here. And now I'm just simply stamping it with the ink pad right here. I'm using a green color. There's lots of different colors the inks come in. You can mix them, you get a mixing bottle, you mix them up. There's white, you can add some white, there's black. I think what I'll do is actually, I'm gonna show you, you can even mix while you're stamping. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll do that. So most of this is green. How about a little bit of red? How about we do just some red down here. Whoops, that will be a little bit messy. That's all right. And where's black? So down here's some black. If you guys are watching and you are not familiar with stamping or anything, let me know. I'll give you guys more details. You can ask your questions in the comments. Also, just let me know where you're watching from and how you found me. I'm always curious to hear that. Okay, so now I've got 3 different colors on here. I'm going to flip the stamp around and position it. I'm just going to stick it kind of right in the middle, and I want the words in there, so lay it down carefully. Now I'm going to hold with one hand and kind of anchor the stamp in place while I press down around it, around the stamp. Now I'm going to press down with this hand and we're stamping. So if you're new to stamping, you could kind of imagine, so you saw how I took the stamp off. If I were to take it off and rearrange it, in fact, I'll do that just to show you guys how you can get a little variety here. So now we've gotten all this down and beautiful. All right, I'm going to take this stamp off the backing right here. And I'm going to do something called free stamping. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to make this red. Why not? Lots of green. Well, it might look a little Christmassy, but once we start watercoloring, it'll be fine. Whoops. How is everybody doing? It's Thursday, almost Friday, end of April. April went by pretty darn fast. Okay, here is this. I'm going to do this over here. Just kind of have it coming in off from the side. You can see in that little area right there where it looks very square because of something I did. I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to be watercoloring over it. I'm going to put a little bit of red from this side over here just to kind of come in off the side of the page and break it up over here a little bit. Just thinking a little bit about composition, not too much. All right, then I got my baby wipe and I'm just wiping down my stamp really fast. I'll be cleaning it better later with just a little bit of soap dish water and a light sponge. Let's see here. Down 2. All right, I see we've got a few watchers. Hi, everybody. Tell me where you're watching from. And if you've done watercolor before, because if you've done watercolor before, I'm going to be a little bit intimidated. I seriously did not start watercoloring probably about November. In November, I took a stamp and some watercolors on vacation to the seaside and just started stamping like you're seeing tonight and watercoloring. And it was just so much fun. It was so pretty. I was doing it with my teenage daughter and we really enjoyed ourselves. Okay, so now I'll hold this up to the camera a little bit. So here's what we're going to be watercoloring over here. What do you guys think so far? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's kind of like creating your own adult coloring book and then going in and coloring over it. Let's see here. One of the things I'm trying to stop doing is say the word so much when I'm on lives, but I am not doing a good job of that. All right, let's see here. So we've got watercolor paper, we've got stamps with green, black, and red ink. And now we're going to watercolor. I've got 3 brushes right here and some water. I'm going to move it up here. Otherwise, I will knock it over. I've got this one nice big brush. Let me show you the others. So different sizes. Whoops. Different size brushes and a very tiny one, which I actually haven't used yet, but because I usually don't do tiny detail like this, but maybe I'll be using it tonight. So these are all pretty wet. Well, they've been soaking in water, so duh. I'm going to get a little bit more water and I'm going to get into my watercolors here. And you can kind of see where I have some, where I have been watercoloring a little bit. So if you take your brush and you dip it in the water and you kind of get into the paint, you kind of get some paint going here. Looks like that one's spilling out. So nice, really big dark green. I got like an orangey down here, taupish color. And this is pretty dark. Let's see, we can water it down just a little bit right here. Most watercolor cases kind of have these indents where it comes in a circle so that you can add water and some pink color. All right, I'm just going to start down here on the bottom, and I'm just going to swish over. You see it's very light. I have not wet the paper before starting this. It's pulling up a little bit away from the ink, which I like, kind of giving it some natural space. I got a little bit of watercolor over here. Just going to use my baby wipe to just get it up. I'm going to come up in here. Baby wipes I probably have used baby wipes more since starting this business than when I ever did as a mom with babies in diapers, because they are so handy to clean and to do things like this. So watch, I got my baby wipe. I want a little bit of texture. Maybe I want to pull up some of that paint, and I'm just tapping it like that. So where there's kind of like some big lugs. There, I got a little bit of a soft color background. It's just kind of breaking up the white space. It's Probably hard to tell on the camera here. Let me pull it in a little bit closer. Hey, Robin from Virginia. Hey, I am a Beltway brat. Robin, I grew up in Springfield, Virginia. You're planning on doing this exact project with watercolors for the first time. Yay, you will love this. It's like you can't mess up. It's so relaxing and meditative. Were you planning, Robin, on using this particular stamp or one of the IOD stamps? Let me know. All right, now I'm going to come over here and kind of do a swash over here. And again, I'm not being real exact. I'm just using some of this paint. Oh gosh, you know, you can't see it because of that big old accidental alarm maker there. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to put it back down in a second. All right. I got this big ink pad mark right there. Not too smart, but what you gonna do? This exact stamp. Awesome, Robin. I love this stamp. I'm just gonna take one step away, Robin, because I want to show you this stamp on the back of a shirt I got from Goodwill. It's kind of hard to tell there. It's like somebody took a shirt and acid washed it, but this stamp looks beautiful on, I don't know if you can tell there, but yeah, I can show you. I still need to keep working on this shirt, but this, I don't know, I just find this particular stamp super relaxing. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Okay, let's see. Just a little bit of a dab here. I have a little bit more of this turquoise up in here. And I go up into the corners. And I'm actually going to just go over the red right here. Kind of gives it a, well, it is called English toil. It definitely is looking like toil. And I'm just going to come in here and swish through. Yeah, Robin, I prefer chalk paint and big pieces of furniture. Watercolor is still fairly new to me. I just kind of come in here and explore and have fun with it. I love, it just feels like just a very soft way to end the day. All right, let me get in here a little bit. All right, and then as I showed you, I've got my baby wipe right here. And I'm just pulling up a little bit of the extra. I'm going to pull that up too. Okay, just gives it a little bit more of an organic feel. Yeah, so Robin, when you're doing this, just do several, just keep at it. Don't just like take your colors and swoosh all over the place and see what happens. I did that with a smaller piece. Oops, this is not the smaller one. What happened to the smaller one? It's around here somewhere. So this was something I started to do earlier. It's just, you kind of get a feel for the paper and a feel for the watercolors. It's very, just kind of gets you going. All right, now I'm going to use a smaller paintbrush. Cam, late to the party. That is so pretty. Thank you. And Judy, good evening from Kansas. I haven't tried doing watercolors yet. Okay, it would be relaxing. Yes, it is so relaxing. And you do not have to, like, if you can put your brush in water, then you can watercolor. So like I'm doing right here, I'm putting my brush in here. This color is like a really nice, juicy, vibrant color. Let's get in here. All right. Kim, this is one of my favorite stamps. I know, isn't it beautiful? Okay, so let's just go for the gusto here. There's a lot of really saturated color on my brush right now, and I'm gonna go for the outside ring of this flower right here. And I haven't wet my paper down. I've seen lots of other watercolorists do that. It's a cool effect. I'm not feeling brave enough to do that tonight. Let's see here. All right. So I'm getting like the outer ring of this. And I'm going to come back in. It's really heavy in here. And I'm just going to pull up a little bit of the watercolor right here. I will be back for it. Sometimes I like the center to be more saturated, but this color, it feels like it definitely needs to be the outside. Let's see here. Yeah. Don't worry. We're going to come back and give this flower a little bit more dimension. I'm going to put on my glasses, people. All right, because my eyes are like, stop being vain. I'm not even on camera. All right, and then now I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to go just right into the paint right there. And I'm going to come in here and make this outside part. See how I'm kind of jiggling my brush? I'm trying to give it a little bit of a, I don't know, fluffy feel. I don't want like a straight line or a circle because that is not happening here. Let's see. All right. Get out there. There we go. Yeah. All right. And that's still super heavy. I mean, it looks like a big O. Yes, I have heard about sprinkling salt on the paint as it's drying. It is a very different effect. I do still stand by my handy dandy baby wipe though. If you take it and you crumple it up like this, now watch what happens. Well, maybe it dried too much. Well, you can't tell. I will show you on another flower. But that it is a very interesting effect. All right, let's see here. Mix it up a little bit. I do really want like the outside ring to be some other kind of color. I'm going to come in for this one right here. It's kind of like this purpley color. I probably should let that dry though and then come back. So I'm going to paint something else right now. Let's see. There's either someone pretending to be a cat outside my door or the cat is actually outside my door. So I have teenagers who like to be funny. So you guys are hearing cat meow. Trust me, she's in great shape. Oh, look at that, so pretty. Okay. I hear you, kitty. Can anybody else hear the cat? All right, I'm gonna come back in here. Around the outside with a little bit more saturated color. There we go. All right, I love that. Okay, now I'm gonna come in, do the same thing here to this flower. I'm actually just gonna really get in there. Now watch what happens. If I want to, because of the stamp, I don't have to stay in the lines. I can just do this. Try and stay in within the outside lines. But look, it's just like, it kind of does itself, right? It's just watercolors itself. And then you can come in and give it a little bit more dimension by adding some darker colors like I've been doing to the outside. That's pretty much my big approach to watercolor right now. I let it dry a little bit and then I'll come on back and like add some other kind of two-tone color to it. But if you can kind of see how that does really well with that. And then we have these tiny little buds in here that look like they're flowers about to open. So I'm gonna come in here and pull some more of this color, but I want to mix it with something else. Let's see. Pink is red. Red and yellow makes orange. I'm gonna come into a little bit of orange and to see what happens. I like adding orange to pink. It can really make it a very interesting color. Let's see here. All right. Now I'm gonna do this flower up here. You see how it totally changed the pink? I'm gonna do what I was just telling you guys about. I'm gonna paint this whole flower. The watercolor I'm using pulls up and away from the ink, and I could just stop here if I wanted to. It looks so pretty just the way it is. But I probably, let's see, if I come back in with just a little bit more pink. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do a little bit more orange actually. Let's see here. Ooh, you see that? That's what happens when you touch down on something that's already kind of wet. This is what I was saying. I wasn't brave enough to do, but I'm doing it anyways. Accidentally. That's why I'm an accidental art maker, people. All right, let's see. We can kind of come around here. Get around the side like that. See? It's really not that hard and it looks so pretty. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I can't believe I made that. Judy, what part of Kansas are you from, if you're still watching? I once slept the night underneath some trees in Kansas back in my youth. And I woke up to have these bugs falling on top of me from this huge tree. I got out of there right away. All right, now let's look at this flower. Let's make this like, what color do you guys think? I don't know. We have greens, but I want greens for the leaves might be just too. I know, we'll do this one right here. Let's see. All right. I love these watercolors. I've tried cheap ones. Cheap ones work out pretty well too, but there's something about nice paper and nice watercolor and nice brushes, at least at this point in my life, where it's kind of like that commercial when we were growing up. I'm worth it. Well, guess what? I am worth some nice brushes. I realized today I was out of watercoloring paper. And I have a day job. I have another thing that I do during the day, so I couldn't leave the house because I have to do that. And I realized that I can order from Michael's online from Instacart, I think it is. So I ordered some watercolor paper on Instacart, and it showed up on my front door. And I was like, "Damn, next time I'm gonna get some photos with that." It was pretty cool. And the woman who was my shopper, she's like, "I love Michael's. Anytime I need something for Michael's, I know where everything is." I was like, right on. Like, very happy. Okay, see how that's kind of dark right there and you can't see any of the lines underneath it? I'm going to use my handy dandy baby wipe, and I'm just blotting down once and pulling up. I don't want to smudge around because it smudges the paint around. And now for this one right here, I just kind of want to do on the outside. I like the dark ring right there. And let's kind of come in once more and just see if we can get the rim on the outside here. There we go. Yeah. Gosh, I'll tell you what, I was a little bit stressed earlier today, but when I started watercoloring, I was just trying to be practical and get ready for tonight, but I loved it so much, I just kept on going. I've been coloring for the last 3 hours now. All right, so for this inside, I'm going to use this color I made earlier. It's kind of just this grayish bluish. Let's see. I'm just gonna dab it in there. The water is really pillaring up. You probably can't tell on the camera. And it actually just looks so much like the other stuff. I'm gonna take it all out right there. There's still like a little bit of a stain. What if we made that like this red? Let's see. Oh, it's like, oh, it's not red, it's fuchsia. Okay. There we go. Just in the middle. All right. I'm gonna just dab a little bit because I'm missing some of the details underneath. And then now, I don't know if you can hear it, but now my dogs are barking. They are welcoming my husband home. Oh, my sound is cutting out. Hopefully you can hear me now. I was kind of probably mumbling underneath my breath there for a moment. Or it was my dogs barking, Cam. I love the chalk paint too. I'm actually getting ready, Robin, to get back into it this when summer hits. I move outside and I paint big things. Painting little things makes me very detail focused, and I bring that into the outside art when I go out there, but I am looking forward to it. Yes, we are worth our art supplies. We sure are. You know what? We are. Okay, so this right here, someone's suggesting yellow. I am going to do the yellow in here, but this is more, it's not like a bright yellow. It's more of like a muted yellow, but it still is very pretty. Let's see here. See the contrast? Isn't that pretty? That was a good idea, whoever suggested it. All right. Okay. Just try and close a little bit of the gaps there. Just gonna. Okay. I'm gonna hold it up so you guys can see it a little bit better. So it's coming along. I'm dying to come in here and give this some other color, but I'm gonna be patient. I have to be careful how I hold this because that's still really wet. These are dry over here. Okay. What should we do next? I think we should do some leaves. Let's use our smaller brush and get in and do some leaves. Oh, you know what? Let's do the, I almost called that mosquito. Let's do the dragonfly. Okay, so the dragonfly, I want her to have blue wings, which I'll like make very light blue. Let's see if I can get some water here. Yeah, if you haven't tried watercolor before, it's water. You need a water, you need a brush, you need some watercolors and some paper. That's all you really need to get going. And of course, if you want, you can have some stamps. But you can freeform too. The stamps I like because I feel like I can't go wrong. I feel like I can't, it's fun coloring these in. All right, so I'm gonna give this beautiful butterfly some blue wings. All right. She actually has a little bit of black tips here from the black ink I used to put on. Let's get in here just a little bit more. I haven't seen one with blue wings. They're usually kind of like silvery. When I think about dragonflies, I think more about being teased by them as a child when I would try to catch them. They were very smart, and they seemed entertained by me trying to catch them with my butterfly net. Okay. There we go. Now we need to color the middle. Yes, coloring book with the stamps. It is. And it's still original because you can stamp any design you want. You can overlap. You can use different color inks if you want. You can use lettering. You can come up with your own sayings. Kind of like a no-brainer in my book. All right, let's go for this really dark color right here. This No, I'm going to say no to that. These colors are so saturated. Okay, we're going to go for this brownish color. Just down here in the middle. The dragonfly body. Okay. There we go. A little bit darker in that part of the dragonfly's body. And now we need to color her eyes. What color should we give her eyes? Let's see. I think we'll do this green. See what this looks like. Blending in too much with the ink. I'm going to dab that away. Oh, shoot. You can't tell, but like a tiny, I'm being too perfectionist here, so I'm not even going to tell you what I did because you probably can't even see it. All right, we're going to give her, let's see what this color looks like right here. Hopefully it's different enough from the wing. So it's pretty dark. Let's see. No. All right, let's keep trying. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oops. No. She's got purple eyes and a purple neck. What's she gonna do? All right. Another glass, not a glass of wine, sip of wine. Excuse me. Okay. Now let's get into, let's see what happens when we paint in here a little bit. Like, let's just kind of come in and give it a big color solid wash. And let's do, let's see. Let's do this green right here. All right. And just go over this whole thing. I know it's looking kind of sloppy. Don't panic. Because you know what I'm probably going to do at this point. Coming back in with my handy dandy baby wipe. Okay, I'm also going to do, let's see, do you want to water this down? I'm going to blend it just a little bit, so I'm just taking water. Because I don't like that line, it just kind of looks more like a line. I want it to be just a little bit more open. I'm avoiding the dragonfly's eyes because those will pop right on out if I get too close to it. Let's see here. Okay. All right. This is where I gotta tell myself to stop. I'll come back when that dries up a little bit. Oh, Robin, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It is really good to be doing this again. It's been a while since I've been alive. I don't know why I get, in real life, if you were to meet me, I'm very personable. I want to know everything about you. I want to be friends. But put me on a camera like this, and I even do like a podcast with my best friend, and it's like talking to my best friend, so that's super easy. But when it's just me here doing this, I don't know. I just kind of like, ugh. All right. Now, there we go. Purple. Purple. All right. Who knows what I'm going to do next? Oh, thank you, Robin. All right. I'm going to come in with my baby wipe and just give it a little dab. All right. So pretty. I want more purple. I'm going to come in here on the outside just a wee bit. There we go. The purple looks really pretty with the green up close. I'll hold it up so you guys can see in a moment. Let's get a little bit more purple in here. Now I'm holding the paintbrush up so that I'm just getting the very tip of it. And this is where it's nice to have a good paintbrush. If you can just get one paintbrush, this is a 10, you can do so much with it. You don't need to have like tons of watercolor brushes. Okay. Now I'm going to come in. You see blue coming up. See me a few times and feel like a friend. Oh, thank you, Kim. That's so nice. All right, I got this. That line looks pretty solid. I kind of feel like trying to come in. It's hard to tell. I'm gonna hold this up. Hard to tell. The stamp has so much detail. I'm trying to color a little bit in with the lines of the stamp right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. More purple right there. And I'm gonna, okay. All right, now let's go in. Let's do some leaves. And let's just be really straightforward and do some green leaves here. And I'm just going over, this is kind of like a muddy green because I've been dabbing into it for the last couple of hours and the water's all filling up right here, which is making it solid. And now you can kind of see what happened there, huh? Okay, let's do this one here. This is where it gets fun. All right, I'm gonna swirl this in. There we go. I'll do this one here while we're out here. So my day job, I am a project manager and I work on software projects. And it's very left brain. And then at night or on the weekends, I revert to my right brain and I do this. Let's see. Okay, let's get some more leaves in here. And I do like both jobs. I do like being a project manager, that's for sure. I've been doing it for years. I actually have a BFA in graphic design from the Corcoran School of Art. I can't remember who's from Virginia, but the Corcoran School of Art was a school right next to the White House where I started off doing, I knew I could never be a fine artist. They were just so, you meet people doing fine art in college and they just blow your mind away. And the reality check was, I just did not have that innate kind of talent. I just had the desire, which is, also a good thing. But the Corcoran had one of the first Mac labs, Apple labs in one of its branches. And I got on that one day and I was like, I need to be doing this. I need to be on a computer forever. and I was doing all kinds of like fun art stuff. I had an awesome professor, Bill Newman, and I became his assistant in the lab, and I loved it. It was back in the day when, you'd have your floppy disk and you'd be shoving it in and out, trying to save things because, there wasn't the cloud back then. All right. And we're getting somewhere. Oh, you know what? Let's fill these in. Oh, I'm going to do brown there. Let's do some more leaves up here. I know we're going kind of long. We're like 45 minutes in. Okay. I didn't mean to go this long, but I can't help myself with watercolors, and watercolors just take a little bit of time. Okay. Let's do a couple more leaves here. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer while we're here? I've been keeping you on for a while, and I don't want to take advantage of your time. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Kim is a photographer. Awesome. What kind of pictures do you take? What kind of subject matter? And are you digital or are you still in the dark room? All right. Get in there. What are your portraits? Family portraits, kid portraits, animal portraits. Kim has wine too. Kim will watch as long as I paint. All right. All right, Kim. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right, get in there. All right, a little bit of a plop there. So we'll just suck it up with that. Yes, we are friends. Cheers, Kim. Kim, I love photography too. It was one of my things I thought about when I was in college. But again, you get in a dark room with somebody who just has that innate talent. And I don't know. Actually, so I have a PhD in graphic design, and I graduated from Corcoran in Washington, D.C. And I got on a plane to San Francisco because San Francisco was about as opposite from Washington, D.C. as you could possibly get. And that's what I wanted. I needed a little space from members of my family. And then when I got to San Francisco, it was 1994, and I could not find a job doing design anywhere. But I found a job managing designers as a project manager for graphic designers. I was really good at it and was a better project manager than I was a designer, unfortunately. And I was a pretty good graphic designer, but when I was in college, I worked full time. I actually would have anywhere from 2 to 3 jobs, and I was from school full time, so I was paying for everything. And I got really good at managing my time and balancing it out with all the creative demands that I had going on. And it just kind of translated really well. And then I was in San Francisco when the .com world started up. And let me tell you, that was quite the ride. All right, a little blobby here. Let's pull that back a little bit. Let's see. All right, I'm going to do that and that in this color, but then other stuff needs to happen in here. That's what my head is saying. It's very prolific. Ah, a recruiter for software engineers. Yes, they are a special breed. I work with them every day. You lived in San Francisco for many years. When were you there? I was there from '94 until 2007, and I moved up here to Washington State for HP, and then moved back to the Bay Area and worked for Apple for a couple of years, and then moved back up here to our home. It was the time when the housing crisis was going on. It was kind of a crazy time. You married a software engineer. That's awesome. Oh, I bet our paths must have crossed, Kim. So I lived near the Panhandle in '94, and I was there for about 3 years. So near the Haight-Ashbury Panhandle area side of things. And then I moved out to the end of the Judah line. I lived in Ocean Beach. I lived on La Playa, right near Java Beach Coffee, if you know where that is. You probably do. And then I lived in Alameda for a little while, and then moved back to when we moved back to the San Francisco area. I was with my first husband. We lived in the outer Sunset with his family for a little bit until we got our own place. But those were great times. So I'll tell you what, being young and single in San Francisco before 9/11, it was pretty effing amazing. Had so much fun. Like one of those things where I'm really glad there was no like Facebook or way to take pictures back then, because I'd have a lot of explaining to do to my teenagers, who would probably call me a hypocrite, but you know what? Suck it, teenagers. She had a friend, Adele. So I lived in that purple and green apartment building. Like I know Hayes Valley. I would go through it every morning, Kim. Great coffee shop there, and there was a great wine bar there too. Yeah. But La Playa, purple, fuchsia, and green apartment building on a corner. You could not miss it if you were out there. If you drove by it, you'd be like, what the heck has happened to my eyes? All right, so we got some leaves framing. Now we need to do some things in the middle here. Our sip of wine. Dolores Park, loved Dolores Park. Okay, I have to tell you, moving from the East Coast to San Francisco, like, I had traveled all over the country. I knew things pretty well. I'd never really been any place like the Castro district. I went to Hamburger Mary's like my first week I lived there, and some guy walked by and he was wearing leather chaps, but he didn't like have on any underwear, so his butt was hanging out the back of his chaps. And I was like, what the heck? I was not ready for that. But I love the Castro district and Halloween. Those were my people. Pride Parade. Oh my God. I can only imagine what that was like. I loved Pride Parade. With the bikes on bikes. Had so many friends doing that. I really Uncle Bernie's bar. I don't know if you ever went there. There was a lot of entertaining, eye-opening things for a naive girl from the East Coast to understand. All right, so I just painted this flower with lots of water, and I'm going to go in there. I'm kind of thinking purple for that one would be good too. Maybe this, no, I don't like that. This is my purple. I should know where my purple is by now. Here we go. That's purple. Cafe Flore. It sounds familiar. That sounds very familiar. Did you ever go to the Martini Bar in the Haight area where it was one older gentleman? He was like a World War II vet, and it was like a Turkish theme. And you had to like, if there was not a stool open, there was like 8 stools. If there was not a stool open, you had to leave right away. And if you didn't order your martini exactly the right way, he would kick you out. So people would be huddled around the bar, and it was just a spectacle every time somebody walked in. It took me 3 tries to get into that martini bar. First time I got kicked out because I ordered a dirty martini, and he said, "Ladies don't order dirty martinis. Get out!" And I was like, "What? You're so funny. Oh my God, you're so cute." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not cute. Get out." And I had to leave. But the second time I went back with a friend who did not believe me. And he got thrown out immediately. He didn't even make it to bar stool. He didn't even make it to ordering a drink. Okay, I'm putting this on. It's super dark. Don't worry. I'm going to take a baby wipe and suck it all up. Right here. Yeah. Pete. Pete did not make it in. I think it was Pete. I don't know. It was some guy I was dating named Michael, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, you see how I just sucked up all that purple? Okay. But the third time we staged our entrance, it was Pete, Greg, and I went in one at a time, and we couldn't sit next to each other. That was the other thing too, is you couldn't walk in and expect to sit down next to your friends, or you would get thrown out if you asked for people to move around the seat. For some reason, that disturbed them also. Elbow room. Oh, I loved elbow room. Martini Nazi. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm choking. And that was exactly what people called him, was the Martini Nazi. So yes, with the hookahs. Yes. There's another place with hookahs. It was not the martini place. There was a place with hookahs. I don't remember the name of it. And the very end of the street was Cha-Cha-Chas with their very dangerous sangria. That got me and a bunch of bridesmaids in trouble one night when we were going out for a bridal party. I don't remember most of that night, except I had a really good time. All right, we're going to do this flower down here in a nice little turquoise color. I love the elbow room. I don't think where else I went down there. Elbow room. Oh, One Market after work. We would go there. And I had an expense card. Oh my God. I remember one night ordering champagne for this couple. They must have been in their 80s, and they were like celebrating like their 50th wedding anniversary. Either that or they were totally pulling one over on me. But it was a great night. And then I don't know if you ever went to like a .com party, like when there was like to celebrate a .com going live. Those were so much fun. And there was like Trump Mountain, and I mean, like, they spared no, like, they spent so much money on those. I still can't get over some days how much money I saw people spend during those days. Yeah, it would have been fascinating too. I had a Dalmatian. So if you ever went to the Panhandle, I had a Dalmatian named Lucy, and we were very popular there. And I lived in a flat with like 4 roommates, all guys. Occasionally a woman would come and go, but the guys would take Lucy out and go to the park and hit on women with the dog. And they loved taking Lucy out for walks. I'm adding some blue into this purple. Okay, that's blue. And look, Emma, I think you're already a bad influence on me. I've already had too much wine. I don't know my colors right now. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, you photographed a dot-com party. Yeah, I'm sure it was insane. Did you ever see in downtown San Francisco? He was pretty well known. He's an Asian man, and he would walk around carrying signs, and they were usually kind of like end of the world type of messages on them. He was quite the character. And then there's I worked down near Pier 39, and there was a guy that would dress up as a bush, and he would curl down and hunker up into a ball and then jump up and scare people. And other people would stand back and watch and laugh, and then he would get tips. You remember the guy with the signs? Yeah, crazy. I wonder what happened to him. And then the Bushman, I asked him once how much money he made. He was like, guess. And I said, how much money he made a day? And he was like, guess. And I said, $200. And he just laughed at me. And I said, $500. And he laughed at me again. And he was like, I make $3,000 a day in cash. I have my kids in private school, and I summer in, where does he? I summer someplace in Southern California. And he just dressed up as a bush to make those things happen. Yeah, he made more than us, and he didn't pay taxes. All right. A little bit of orange in there. I like the orange. Kim, where are you now? If you don't mind me asking. The guy painted gold with the boombox. Yeah, he would do the breakdancing. Oh, you live in Grass Valley in California? Yes. So one of my friends, his family owned like a family cottage up there, and we would go there like on the weekends and on long weekends. It was gorgeous. Bonfires there. It was a lot of fun. It was very beautiful. How long have you been there for? Yeah, very chill and artsy. It's always hot. That's the other memory I'm having about the place. I remember being in like in a hammock and just being hot all the time. But can you imagine, like back in the late '90s, buying a place there and then owning it now? Would that have you? Maybe you did. 10 years, yeah. Kim, how did you come across accidental art maker? Well, I'm always curious to hear. You still own your home in San Francisco? Yeah, I wish I still owned a home in San Francisco. Oh, yeah, that was smart. We owned a home in Alameda, but like when we moved, we had to sell it. Like there was no way. I was like like the bread earner, And we had to, unfortunately, like, I wish we could have saved it there. Like my logo. Yay! See, my graphic design paid off after all. And the purchase of a Canva subscription. All right. Well, I am like nowhere close to being done. And I've been at this for over an hour. Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off soon. Yeah, Canva, isn't it great? But this has been a great conversation, Kim. I always meet the most interesting people on my lives. It's really interesting. I was talking one night to this woman. She owns a company. Well, she owns her own shop called Mum's Shed in Scotland. And she was telling me a story about how one of her friends found a Doc Marten boot along the side of the road and sent it to her. And she started painting boots and upcycling boots. And if you're on my Facebook page, I reposted something. I reposted a recent boot from her, but how I got her was on here. She just joined the live, and she was just like, it was so funny. Like, we started making up stories about the boot and how it got on the side of the road, and like the woman was like, who lost the boot was like really drunk, but was having like a great night. Yeah, she upcycles boots. She paints them, and now she just started doing inlays on them, the IOD inlays, and she just like, they're just beautiful. All right, I'm getting sloppy now. I'm having too much fun talking to Kim, who's obviously another bad influence on me. All right, let's see here. I like the blue and the red. I need to like get a little bit more water here. I'm trying not to be sloppy, Kim, but it's too late. But it's watercolor, so it's all right. So I use water, kind of break up it a little bit. See how I got like this over here going, and now I'm going to have this over here on this side, and I'm just going to kind of come in and break it up like that. I think it looks good. What do you think, Kim? Let's see. I'm going to make this corner up here a little bit darker. All right. This right here, I'm not liking at all, and that's going to take some time to figure out what to do. And here's what I'm not liking is just this very solid color here. And obviously I haven't painted around it. I've been waiting for this to dry. And I don't know, I feel like I could do, see like how I got some like reddish, pinkish, and then orange here. I'm wondering if I could do the same here. But I really don't want to do anything in here until I figure out this flower. So that's on pause, and then I can do, so that's like my main area, and I have lots of different colors going on in here. And then I could do some more oranges up in here in this rusty color, and then more pinks up in here. So that's just me kind of thinking out loud about where to go next with this watercolor that I will not be finishing right now. Kim, I'll send you a picture. But I kind of feel like I've done enough. I've gone over way over my 40 minutes I was going to do here. So anyways, what I will do is I will finish this, and then in Canva, Kim, I will edit the video down so it's like 4 minutes long. I'll edit it down so it's like 4 minutes long, and kind of get the quick down and dirty on this. But I do like the way it's coming along. I'm even liking kind of like this line in here. I might, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do with that. Because it's kind of resonates with the black over here in the letters. I don't know. I'll think about it some more. But I am enjoying it. It's very pretty, but I'm going to let it dry and I'm going to come back at it later. But definitely this has been a very fun meditating hour with you all. Kim, thanks for keeping me company. And the lines, which lines? The lines, like the actual lines in here, like from the stamp? That's pretty. The text lines, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking too, Kim. All right, Kim, you and I are like, we're on the same wavelength. That's for sure. All right. The text lines, yeah. Vertical versus horizontal. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I could probably come in here with a darker color and do something in this corner and get rid of that so you don't see it anymore. So that the focus is on the punch of color here, which leads into the text here. And then it's kind of surrounded by some muted, almost the same color around the back end. That's what I'm thinking. Kismet. All right. Well, Kim, reach out to me on Facebook or email me or something. And I'll, or if you're already on Facebook, you'll see this in a few days. But the videos usually take me a little bit longer. They take me some time to do because I try to make a significant investment of my time into that, so that when I put it on YouTube, I can get a lot of different people learning from it. And I'm figuring out how to edit video where people can learn versus just kind of showing up and watching me paint. So anyways, Kim, it was really nice meeting you. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you or talk with you later. Have a fantastic rest of your night and cheers to your next glass of wine.